Good Thursday, everyone. Thanks for stopping by Garden State Weather and GardenStateWeather.blogspot.com, providing superior summer forecasting for the northern mid-Atlantic region 24 hours a day. This is the video forecast discussion for this Thursday, the 26th of June, 2014. Yesterday's rain amounts weren't so bad. They were generally anywhere other side of an inch as the cold front moved through the region overnight. Surface chart this morning shows us with sunshine and clouds mixed in, some scattered to broken clouds around the region this morning, but the sun is out. Temperatures are still mild. They're in the upper 60s to low 70s. The winds are all basically either calm or out of the northwest now at speeds under 10 miles per hour. In most cases, they're calm. And we still have quite a high humidity across the region this morning as the dew points are still in the upper 60s to right around 70. Over the next couple of hours, this satellite image will start eliminating some of the cloud cover around the region, and then just some scattered cumulus clouds during this afternoon as we reach the convective temperature. And it's going to be a nice day out there, despite the fact that the cold front came through. The air mass is really not that cold behind it. There's plenty of drying, though, in the mid and upper levels of the atmosphere, so that's good. And all the precipitation is now well off the coast. We have no watches, warnings, or advisories for the forecast area, and looking at some of the storm totals from yesterday, basically not doing a storm total map for the website this morning as most of the precipitation was away from the region. However, we did have some reports of downed trees, obviously some flooding and some hail to the north across central New York and the Hudson River Valley area into interior Connecticut and Massachusetts. Some hail and wind damage reports around central southeastern Pennsylvania, and also portions of Maryland as well. Generally going to be a nice day to go to the beach today after the clouds lift around 11, then partly sunny. There is still a chance of a few showers around the region, but they'll be spotty in nature. Temperatures in the low 80s, northwest winds at about 10 miles per hour. That's quite pleasant. Surf will be around 2 to 3 feet with the southeast swell at around 3 feet. Basically, surf temperatures between 65 and 70, the UVI index high, so you're needing sunscreen there. Rip current risk is low. Swim, however, near guards, and always use a flotation device. There's still a moderate threat of lightning today in any of the showers, which implies that thunderstorms are still possible scattered around the region, although they'll be isolated. The tide information for Atlantic City, the next high tide is occurring at 7:35 this morning, and then again at 7:52 this evening. Pollen counts today around under 3, and we're basically expecting low pollen across the region based on the pollen counts. Expected weather, the heavier increase in pollen concentration could be very well cause problems for those who have allergic to airborne pollens, and they should remain on the low to the medium side, with grasses, dock, and plantain being the predominant pollens through early next week. So look at our cold front as it moved through the region last night, early this morning, producing widely scattered showers and thunderstorms around the region, but that's offshore now, and we're not really expecting any severe weather going into the weekend outside of isolated shower or thunderstorm. Morning surface map from weatherroanoke.com. A digital atmosphere software shows the cold front now off the coast, and the dew points beginning to come down just a little bit. We have a little bit of a trough access here still over the Great Lakes into western New York. This might be a backdoor cold front come tomorrow. Tomorrow should be a nicer day. Temperatures today still getting into the 80s, excepting the immediate coastlines again of Long Island and the shorelines of New Jersey. As a result of sea breeze development during the afternoon, there should be no sea breeze development tomorrow, as the winds will all be from the east-northeast, and temperatures everywhere will be uniform tomorrow. They'll be in the 70s, which is about 10 degrees below seasonal levels, but nonetheless, a nice day coming up for Friday, and we'll get into the weekend in just a moment. Here's our Google Earth Streamline Analysis map this morning. It shows the northwesterly flow tending to veer, or be from the northwest to the west. This is downsloping, and this will allow for temperatures today to get into the 80s, but we do have to monitor a backdoor cold front, which will be moving through the region tomorrow, and that will lower the temperatures in all locations to below seasonal levels. On the aviational weather deck, skies are improving, so are conditions. We have some spotty IFR and MVFR conditions, but they'll all clear out today as a light northwesterly flow develops behind the weak cold front. Then scattered to broken clouds at about 4,000 feet or so, northwest winds during this afternoon, a chance of a sea breeze around Atlantic City late. Tonight, VFR scattered at above 4,000 feet, possible MVFR or IFR ceilings developing in a light northeast flow towards tomorrow morning with a little bit of a fog or stratus moving into the coastal regions. And then basically VFR conditions Friday right through Monday. There is the diurnal chance of a shower or thunderstorm with local MVFR or IFR conditions scattered about the region, especially during the heating of each afternoon. Right now, outside of Newark, it's 74. Dew Point is still muggy at 70, humidity 87%. The wind is west at 6 knots, and still some scattered to broken clouds at 10,000 to 25,000 feet. At Philadelphia, we have a VFR conditions, 75 degrees, dew point 66, humidity 74, the wind northwest at 8, and some scattered to broken clouds around the region with VFR conditions. Last night's runs of the European, the GFS missing, and the CMC model basically for the period through the 6th of July, right past and through the holiday weekend coming up late next week. This is the 500 millibar height anomalies across the region, still showing a trough in the means developing with much cooler conditions setting up across the northern New England states, the mid-Atlantic coast states on all model guidance. With the ridge being pushed back to the southwest, we have our deep trough here south of the Aleutian Islands showing up on all model schemes here, with the ridge being pushed back to the west and southwest across central Canada back down through Texas and the Central Plains, and a trough axis beginning to build in. Now, the polar air masses in this flow would mean that disturbances will be moving through. Temperature anomalies will be much cooler going after the 4th of July week. So next week we could be warming up each day with the high pressure ridge over the top of us. But as that gets blunted out by the holiday weekend, that could mean trouble, and that could also mean the cooler air mass coming in once again. And we'll take a look at the model guidance in just a moment. Morning run of the NAMWRF composite reflectivity forecast from Penn State's eWall site shows the cold front moving out, scattered clouds and sunshine this afternoon as the convective temperatures are met. Maybe a spotty isolated shower or thunderstorm still possible east sections. The NAM showing it right over the city for late this afternoon toward evening. And then just scattered to broken clouds across the region for just about everywhere else. And notice how we're moving into a marine air mass once again as the backdoor cold front moves through. Stratus clouds building across the region, lower clouds, maybe some spotty drizzle in southern portions of the region early tomorrow morning, and then that washes out, that boundary washes out, and we get back into a marine air mass in place with lots of sunshine and much cooler temperatures, keeping the air mass much more stable tomorrow. Temperatures in the 70s tomorrow versus the 80s today. And of course, it will be cool in all locations as high pressure continues to build across the forecast region and maintains an onshore flow, keeping the heat and humidity away from us for at least the early part of the weekend, with a gradual increase in the humidity and the temperatures as well as we head into early next week. This is a look at the Canadian model going into the future. High pressure building in across the forecast region through the weekend, a light northeasterly onshore flow. But notice how the heights begin to rise here in the means from the Central Plains all the way to the eastern United States. And that means that basically more humid and muggier conditions will be in place early next week, but we do have to monitor the steepening trough in the polar stream as it drives through southeastern Canada. And then by early next week, we could be dealing with a moderate low chance of a heat wave where temperatures get over 90 degrees here early in the week through the midweek, but then we're approaching the holiday weekend on July 2nd. Cold front coming through, showers and thunderstorms on Thursday, Wednesday night, and Thursday. And that moves off the coast, and then cooler air mass begins to build in across the region. The front may stall out to the south and west as disturbances stay away from the flow, but the model guidance is still showing a much cooler air mass in place for the holiday weekend coming up. GFS is basically showing the same thing, a high pressure ridge building across the region, heights build in the means over the weekend with an isolated shower or thunderstorm mainly during the afternoon and evening hours. And the temperatures really begin to soar early next week from Sunday, Monday into early Tuesday as we have disturbances to the west here around the ring of fire of high pressure building in, and the heights build all the way into northern New England. Notice how dynamic this polar disturbance is across south central Canada. As this begins to drive to the south and east, it's a closed upper low. It builds the trough axis and then turns it negative as the cold front comes through with scattered showers and thunderstorms on Wednesday, July 2nd. And then that moves off the coast, but the boundary begins to stall out, but strong high pressure tries to build in with basically the chances for weak disturbances to move through the region. Friday, Saturday, and Sunday looks to be dry at this time as high pressure is in control and the air mass begins to try to modify a little bit. So the fifth nice weekend in a row setting up, and then heat and humidity return with the chance for showers and thunderstorms by the midweek period going into the 4th of July weekend. We should be clearing out and the weather looks much cooler and comfortable. We could be dealing with our sixth good weekend in a row. We'll see. For Garden State Weather and GardenStateWeather.blogspot.com, I'm forecaster Robert Smith. You make it a pleasant Thursday. We'll be back bright and early in video form on Friday.